this is not a family business of movies. Tell us a bit about those beginnings.
I went to the trucking business, Amritsar Transport Company, ATC. I struggled. My father had also a cinema, which he acquired in 1978. I felt that Hollywood can be one differentiating point because Hindi movies used to get played in so many cinemas.
This was the beginning of multiplexes in India.
97 is the first multiplex that I was fortunate to open. I was obviously extremely nervous because cinemas were tiny. And I said, my God, will people come to small screen? People loved it and, the rest is history. 1 kilometer long queues were outside.
There's never been a time when the question has been raised of whether people will actually go to the movie hall or not as much as now. Does that keep you up at night?
I mean, cinema has gone through a hell of a lot. When COVID happened, first time in the history of cinema, cinemas were shut for more than 18 or almost 2 years, 18 months to 2 years. This was a body blow.
IRL experience has now become important as
What is
well.
IRL?
In real life.
That's in real life, okay, fine.
I'm following my Gen Z.
Home entertainment and out-of-home entertainment have always coexisted. There is not an either or.
People actually crying in Sayyara as they showed on online reels.
That is what gets me excited and positive about this business. When a content connects, I mean, there's no end.
Ajay, thank you so much for talking to us here.
Thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah. So, if I think about the movie business and the love that Indians have for the movie, cinema goers have, I think that's uncontested. But there's never been a time when the question has been raised of whether people will actually go to the movie hall or not as much as now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's available everywhere, right?
Correct,
on my phone, on my laptop, on my smart TV.
Yeah.
Does that keep you up at night?
No, basically, for the first time, I mean, cinema has gone through a hell of a lot, right from the beginning. And you must have read the history as well. I'm sure you've done your homework with the Spanish flu coming in. People thought that, cinemas will not remain. World War I, World War II. Then you had your TV coming in, black and white TV. Even then people said, oh, why should you go out? But cinema survived everything because the experience of going out and watching on the big screen is very different to watching anything at home. However, when COVID happened, I think that raised the decibel levels a hell of a lot because for the first time in the history of cinema, cinemas were shut for more than 18 or almost 2 years, 18 months to 2 years. So I think this has never happened. Lots of disruptions, as I said, have happened. Lots of distractions have happened. But this was a big one. This was a body blow. So demand side got impacted because demand, suddenly they were at home. So the habit of going out, there was also some trepidations of whether we can go out or not. And supply side got disrupted because obviously shooting stopped. So I think that period had a very big impact. And suddenly, there was so much content on the small screen OTT platforms. There was so much stickiness because people were waiting for, what is the next TV show coming. Plus one more thing that happened is that prior to COVID and prior to cinema shutting down, only TV shows were very popular. But because there was no content available, even movies started coming. And even the producers, the film fraternity, because in India, movies are still very fragmented. Production houses are not like you have in the US, where you have 4 or 5 studios who are making movies. Here, if there are 1,200 movies that get made in a year, there are about 5,000 producers across the country. So I think I don't blame the producers because their holding cost also was piling up. So they also said, okay, let me monetize my content. And straight away, sell it to a platform because the platforms also were starved of content. So instead of making TV shows the way they were earlier, they said, okay, doesn't matter what content it is, let's just buy it and play it. So that had a big impact. And so therefore, we took a long time. So I thought, to be honest with you, that it won't take that long once we open in 2020.
You thought people will flock back?
Yeah, I thought they'll flock back, and they did. Because there were some very big movies and some big producers like Rajamouli and even KGF. They waited. They had the waiting power as well. And when they came, consumers were still starved of going out. They still wanted something big. So suddenly we saw a huge spike where RRR, KGF, lots of movies came and people came back. So I said, wow, this is fine. Business is back to usual. But then I didn't realize that the backlog of no shootings happening still remains. The habit changes still remained. And therefore, it took us at least two and a half years to come back. There were some green shoots in the middle.
But are you back? Are footfalls and occupancy rates at pre-COVID levels?
In South, yes. So if you look at the southern film industry has always been very robust, and because the movie-going habit is very strong and the content flow is also very strong. So South, I would say, is almost back, maybe more than 90%. Hollywood is also back because Hollywood actually got disrupted not just because of COVID. Hollywood got disrupted or had a bit of a setback also because of the Hollywood strike,
the
screenwriter strike. So therefore 2024-25 was not very good for every angle. But 25-26 onwards, we are back now to where we were. We are not exactly at the same occupancy level, which we were earlier, but we are getting there. So like, for example, October was fantastic. Our second quarter was very good.
Yeah.
And even now, December is looking very good. So the volatility has got reduced dramatically now. The peaks and troughs are not that this thing. So the good thing that I find is, and I've been saying that even when we were shut, that is home entertainment and out-of-home entertainment have always coexisted. There is not an either or. This whole binary discussion started getting on my nerves also, to be honest with you, because we are just not realizing that, and I use this analogy all the time, so sorry if I'm sounding very hackneyed or repetitive to you. We have Zomato, we have Swiggy, we have kitchens at home. Okay, people have various choices to eat, but they still go out and eat in restaurants. They go to places, hotels and restaurants. That's number one. People again can get everything to Blinkit at home, but they still go to the shopping malls. So people are not straight-jacketed. They want to do everything. They want to be at home also. So this phenomena will always coexist. What people do at home will not completely obliterate their habits from going out.
No, agreed.
What they're going out.
Agreed,
yeah.
But it's also about the cost differential. What also came into play is the cost differential.
The cost differential of cooking at home.
Cooking, okay, but if ordering in versus going out
is also different.
Maybe, to some, it depends on where you order for, but...
Yeah, then it's exactly the same, but still restaurants thrive. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
The only aspect, and my question really is in terms of cost differential. If I buy a year-long subscription or a monthly subscription to any of these streaming services, I can watch X amount of voluminous content. To go out to a movie hall, the cost of getting there, my popcorn, my the extras over there, plus the movie ticket. I want to sit in a nice theater like that, I'm going to shell out a lot. So all of that kind of adds up.
Yeah, but I think people are not blind. They see what they're paying for. 7.8 million people have already come to the cinemas this year, and 15 million roughly is the number of people who come. So India is a very heterogeneous market. So what you're saying is true for a lot of people. Not only are they extremely cost conscious, they don't also have a FOMO of a brand new movie. So first of all, the 8-week window, then you will not see this new movie that has come of Kriti Senan and Dhanush just now. So that consumer is also there.
Yeah.
He's saying कि मैं नहीं जाना. So I'm not saying that consumer doesn't exist. He's also saying I don't care how good the movie is, how popular it is becoming. I will wait for 8 weeks and I'll sit at home and I'll watch the movie. Okay? There's another consumer who's saying I want to watch. I want that big screen experience. I can see what has been done. I can't get a 14-meter screen at home. I can't get that communal experience of laughing and emoting with the movie. I can't get that comfort and that going out. I can't get that escapism at home. Okay, so therefore I want to go out. So luckily India's a very heterogeneous and disparate market. We have enough number of people who want to come out as well. And they actually are finding it value for money. Because our price points are not just this. There's only 16% of my portfolio.
Yeah.
84% of my portfolio is at 259 rupees. If you look at my Q2 results, my ATP, average ticket price, is 259. So I have ticket prices from 100 rupees also. The balcony ticket price of a single screen is 150 rupees now. Getting this kind of infrastructure for 100 rupees, I don't think people complain.
Yeah.
it is still much cheaper than various other out-of-home entertainments. Look at the amount of money they have to shell out for a Coldplay. Look at the amount of money that you have to shell out for AP Dillon, a concert.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think we may be swinging to the other side of the pendulum in the sense of the IRL experience has now become important as
What is
well.
IRL?
In real life.
That's in real life, okay, fine.
So I'm shadowing my Gen Z.
And then it's fine, it's okay.
Which I'm very far away
I'm
from.
very happy to ask the meanings of all acronyms now.
No. In real
Because
life,
I can't keep up.
you are in the IRL business, where you actually go out.
So I mean, Aristotle said that, people are animals, they're social animals, they want to come out. So you can't, I think there's no comparison of being at home and going out. Both will happen. So many times I want to kick up, sit at home and watch a movie that I missed out or a TV show that I missed out.
I'm saying people are perhaps now swinging to the other end of it, because you talked about concerts and how concerts are getting sold out, live events are becoming something that people want to go out and do. What is the way that your experience can catch on to that and add a plus to the movie going experience, because you're already kind of doing it? Gourmet food served at your seat, more than just sitting and watching a movie.
Yeah, look, in India, why PVR Inox is only in India. The only exception is we've got is one cinema in Sri Lanka, and that also was almost like an extension of our South India strategy, is because India is a very volume driven country. You have 1,200 films that come through the system. So alternate programming, if that is what you're referring to, is something which is a filler. So whether it's re-releases or showing Taylor Swift's show that we showed a little bit, we showed BTS, sometimes cricket matches, these are fillers. But primarily, there is no dearth of content. The other day, somebody was talking to me on a Friday. He said there is some movie that got released and they didn't know where to see it. I said 42 films got released that particular day. 42 movies in a day got released all across the country. So I don't need to do anything other than making our experience of going very, very experiential, very enhanced.
How do you do that?
One example is where you're sitting here. So by making sure your projection system, sound system, your seating, your F&B, your service is like a hospitality. People really feel good about going. And what people can say, oh, this I can't get at home. So that differential has to be, IMAX, 4DX, ICE. Now we opened something called Dine-In. So all sorts of formats which are more experiential. Everybody is working towards how do we make this experience. LED screens are coming up now. So the Dine-In that we've opened in Bangalore just now, there is no projection room there. The whole thing is an LED screen. So I think people in India are very discerning. They can sense it. So I think we have to be on our toes to make sure that the experience is very different to watching it on airline or your phone or this thing.
You talked about October being good, and yes, Q2 PAT profitability in place and a good set of numbers. A lot of analysts also looking at it favorably. You think this is continuing into Q3, Q4? What is the pipeline looking like? Is this a situation where the H2 second half is going to be better?
Well, so far it's looking very good, and even Q4 is looking first time very good. One, Eid is a very important date. That's also in Q4. Normally it falls in Q1 of next year. Toxic is a very big movie which is coming. Border 2 is releasing on the 26th of January. A lot of Hollywood films are coming, a lot of regional movies. Pongal is a very big festival, so January gets taken care of by that. So whatever lineup I'm at least seeing is looking very good. But again, coming back to my analysis of why I'm very sanguine about our business is because you also have a lot of sleeper hits now. The number of 100 crore movies which have got done this year is never happened before. And these are sleeper hits. We did not know these movies are going to do well. If you look at how did Sanyara end up doing so well? Yeah. How did Mahavatar, Narsimha end up doing so well? So
were people actually crying in Sanyara as they showed on online reels, or was that
I was not present in every single auditorium. but those were real images only.
Yeah. So it was actually happening. People do emote in that sense.
That is what gets me excited and positive about this business. When a content connects, there's no end. It was almost fanaticism, the way that music connected with the youngsters and how these two became like superstars overnight. And when we were forecasting that how many people will come for Sanyara and what the numbers will be, there's no way on earth anybody could have possibly. So that's why I don't get that. I mean, obviously one is disappointed if a big movie doesn't do well or does below expectations. But then I don't get that disappointed because there's so many movies. So as opposed to a market like UK, US, which is very Hollywood dependent, the number of movies only get released are not even 100, 150, 160 movies get released every year. If India was that market, then I'd be very worried. Secondly, PVR, right from the beginning, when I started, I was very keen that I want a geographical spread where, again, I'm not depending on one geography either. Okay, so 33% of our circuit is in South. You know, 27% of my circuit is in North. The rest of the circuit is spread between Center, West and East. So therefore, the geographical, we've de-risked our business model also by not remaining in one region.
I want to rewind a little because you talked about when you started PVR, and you know it's a story that people don't necessarily know. This is not a family business of movies.
Yeah.
There was one movie hall in the family business which you decided to take on. Tell us a bit about those beginnings.
Okay. Our business was trucking, and I finished in school, in modern school and Hindu, and then when I went to the trucking business, Amritsar Transport Company, ATC, I struggled. So my father and my grandfather started the business, and I was not very sure if this is what I want to do. So 1988 to 1990, I was going to Naya Bazaar, which is in Chandni Chowk office. But then my father had also a cinema, which he acquired in 1978. So I said, I have to do something to make my father feel proud. So if I'm not able to do something in the trucking business, let me try my hand at Priya. And Priya was in South Delhi. And those days, South Delhi only had two cinemas called Chanakya. I think this way before your time in Archana. And they were the only two houses which were showing English movies. So I felt that Hollywood, it can be one differentiating point in that catchment, because Hindi movies used to get played in Liberty, Sheila, so many cinemas in Delhi, and they used to run for 25-30 weeks because only very few prints used to come because of the celluloid prints that were there. So I said, if I do Hindi, then where is my differentiating point? So when I went to the Bombay studios, Warner Brothers, Columbia, TriStar, Sony Pictures, and all these guys, they said, oh wow, we would definitely welcome another cinema which is going to show Hollywood movies. So that's why I started playing Hollywood films. I didn't realize the response will be so phenomenal, and a third cinema will do well. So that's how it all happened, and I was very fortunate, God was kind, that I made the cinema very clean. I also took some input from a cinema in Bombay called Sterling.
Yeah.
They had a Dolby installed, and I needed a USP vis-a-vis Chanakya and Archana. They did not have Dolby, and I said, if I put Dolby sound, maybe I'll have some USP. These are all just happening without any thought that I'm no marketing thing. It was very obvious things to do. And the response was just phenomenal.
Was it coming from your own love of going to the movies and having a good experience?
So if somebody asks me who's a movie buff in the family, I think it's my children, Niharika, Naina, Amir, and my brother Sanjeev and my wife. I'm not a massive movie buff. I'm really about experience. So I think if you really ask me in retrospect, experience really excites me. How can I, because I can't control what's happening on the big screen.
Yeah.
So that's where it continued. And I was very fortunate that little things that I did, people enjoyed, and they said, wow, this is different. And then that's how I said, now the next step is really to get into multiplexes, because again, the same reason. There's so many movies coming. How can 1,000-seater cinema showcase everything under one roof?
Yeah.
Because then you're stuck with that one movie.
I mean, this was the beginning of multiplexes in India.
Yeah, 97 is the first multiplex that I was fortunate to open in India.
And with Village Roadshow.
Village Roadshow.
So not everyone knows PVR is Priya Village Roadshow.
That's right. Yeah, because the acronym, the company was called Priya Village Roadshow Limited. There was a 60-40 joint venture, and therefore we said, let's call the brand PVR. And that's it. God is kind. I mean, after that, people, I was obviously extremely nervous because cinemas were tiny, 250-seater cinemas, one 300-seater cinema, one 312-seater cinema, capacity was 1,000. And I said, my God, will people come to small screen? They'll think it's a video parlor. All those apprehensions and, skepticism was there. But God is kind. People loved it, and, rest is history. 1 kilometer long queues were outside, and people were really, really excited about this new format.
You know, when I think about the kind of disruptions that your business had to go through, one is of course starting the business, and then this joint venture with Village Roadshow. 9/11 happens, they pull out, and you have to look for funds, you have to list. Then you have COVID coming in. So many of those, which have been some of the toughest moments.
I think toughest obviously will be when my dad passed away in 92. Nothing can compare. I was all of 25 years old, and I just started Priya, and the trucking business suddenly was headless because my father was looking after that. I don't think there's anything that even comes close to that sort of setback that I had. And because then I had to do both things, my newfound love for cinema plus the responsibility of running the trucking business. I was married as well, and I was about to have my first, Niharika was about to be born. So that was a tough period. Then we had a fire where we lost a lot of money in the trucking company. That again became a big setback for me. So we just kept going, and of course after that, a Village Roadshow not wanting to expand was a big one because I'd already signed up a lot of multiplexes. I'd signed up worth about 100 crores of cinemas. I then suddenly said, okay, what do I do? And I was fortunate to have mentors who guided me, and Sunil Mittal, Mr. Mittal has always been a good mentor to me, and he said, Ajay, time for you to now get private equity. You're too small to do an IPO, and accruals are not going to make sure your growth can be funded. So that's the time I went the private equity route, and the business luckily was profitable, and that is something I tell all young entrepreneurs, that make sure your business is profitable.
Yeah, so, in this day and age, that's an important lesson. Where profitability has not become that important.
Yeah, so all the 4 units, let's call it, that I was operating. There was Anupam in Saket, there was Vikaspuri, a 3-plex, there was a Narayana 4-plex, and Priya. So all these 12 screens put together were always very profitable. The EBITDA margins were phenomenal. And so when the private equity people saw that, Renuka Ramnath of ICICI Venture, and she saw a very good pipeline with prestige, good developers, and they said, oh, this looks like a good business model. You're the only player in India who's doing this.
Today you're in a landscape where there is no competition. After the merger with Inox post-COVID, pretty much this is a one market player?
No, there is a lot of competition.
Is it? I mean, apart from OTT platforms, what really is your competition on this landscape?
Still India's got, by the way, 9,200 screens. And out of 9,200...
smaller single screens?
Yeah, but we're still about 1,900 screens, 1,800 give or take, compared to this thing. So you still have players like Cinepolis with 400, you have Mirage with 200. You still have players. And I would say that only exhibition is not the only thing, like you just alluded to. Like you said, people can have an option to watch at home. Okay, I've got a window. I've got an 8-week...
Maybe your biggest competition is a tiny phone.
Yeah, that's right. So 8-week window is also there, which also saves you. So actually, piracy is competition as well, because 8-week window, legitimately the producer doesn't want to release the movie on any other platform. He's not releasing the movie on any other platform till the theatrical run is done. But how do you control piracy? So if a great movie's print gets downloaded on piracy, pirated version, then that's a problem. But as I said, I'm just banking on the fact that if we make our cinemas very experiential, number one. Number two, the habit of people to go out to shopping centers, malls, eat, shop, that is always going to remain. And we just have to make sure we don't disappoint people when they come. They must feel they're getting their money's worth. And as long as we're able to do that, and there's a good flow of movies which is coming, then India's still really number one form of entertainment is going out and watching movies on the big screen. And look at the industry. You put on your TV, all ads have got some actor or the other endorsing it. So there is... Bollywood has got a very strong presence even beyond cinema. So I think the love for movies and movie stars is so much that keeps us going. And even producers have believed in the big screen. Like I said, even Saiyar, I'm just taking one example, like 12th failed. You take so many movies that have come, my mind is blanking out, which were made at a very small budget. Now, if you go to OTT straight away, you only get cost plus. This is the budget and this is how much you'll get. There is no upper limit to how much a movie can earn when it goes on the big screen. OTT players now, have got a survey done, and there are a lot of studies for that. People actually, the first movie that they'll watch is the one which has done well on the box office, because they are not. So when you see a movie which is coming and you say, "Ye kaun si picture hai?" I haven't heard about it, but you suddenly say, "Oh my God, that's Sayyara, yaar. I missed it out on the first time around." So that movie did very well. To be honest, I also missed out on Sayyara when it came out
You
the first time.
watched it on OTT?
Then I watched it on OTT after 8 weeks, and I loved it.
How much OTT do you watch?
More shows I watch, TV shows I watch.
Yeah.
I mean, even pre-COVID, I was watching shows only. But if somebody gives me a very compelling reason that this movie is very good and it hasn't come theatrically, I'll watch it.
As we wrap up,
Yeah.
what do you think is going to be the next technological disruption that you will face? Is it AI? I think your whole industry, the content side of the industry, is facing with AI. Is it going to be another kind of change in habits? What do you think is going to be the next challenge?
You know, I think AI is good from a content point of view, because now people don't have to go to lots of places to shoot. All that can be done AI generated, but use sparingly. Not like, of course, the whole film, but I don't think it's a tool which will be harmful. It will be an enabler to make better content. And I think there are enough experts on the production side who know how to use it properly. We just finished a workshop on AI, how we can use AI on our customer service, CRM, looking at our costs, supply management, looking at various things, all aspects, programming, showcasing, marketing. So I think AI is only going to help make our business entire part of the value chain, right from production to distribution to exhibition. It is only going to make it more productive and better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for speaking with us today. This has been fascinating, and
Thank you.
here's to people going back to the movies.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.